Hi, ladies. Welcome back to Life Coach for Ladies Truth Talks. I'm Coach Sandra, and today I am just beyond excited to bring you a guest whose story and mission will inspire you just to move beyond any limitation that you're facing. Joining me is Trenell Walker. He is a Ziglar Legacy Certified Coach, a best-selling author of the T.R.E.N.L.L Effect, and founder of Triumph Beyond Limits. His journey of resilience began after a life-changing football injury at age 14 that left him paralyzed. But instead of giving up, Trenell built a life of impact, empowering countless people to break free from limitations and get unstuck. So Trenell, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited to just have this conversation with you. So your story is, nothing short of just incredible. Can you take us back to that pivotal moment at 14 and just share how it shaped the work you do today and helping others to get unstuck?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, hey, you may not notice, but I am sitting down in this Superfly wheelchair that you see me in, or you may not see me in, but I haven't always been like this, as Sandra mentioned it. My life 29 years ago was nothing but about football. Football was my life. It was my passion. It was a game that I had been playing since I was 6 years old with my older brother, Artez. I had planned on using my athletic talents to earn a full scholarship to be able to pay for college and to end the financial struggles of my family. I mean, you
Mhm.
see, I grew up in a single parent home where my mom, she only had a ninth grade education because she had dropped out of high school after having my brother. She always worked a full-time job plus 2 to 3 part-time jobs to take care of me, my grandmother, and my brother. And
Mhm.
so I had planned on using my athletic talents to be able to retire my mom, buy her a
Mhm.
house, and a brand new car. But then on October 20th, 1995, the lights from Bearcat Stadium shined down on the field, capturing my performance. That cold October breeze that comes around in the fall of Texas was nipping at my skin as I walked to the left side of the defense to take my position. I looked in at the quarterback, waiting for him to receive the football. He received the football and immediately tossed it to the running back, headed in my direction. I ran upfield as fast as I could to stop the running back because I read that play like a book. I had made a tackle on the running back, but unknowing to me, my teammate was coming from the opposite side to assist, launching himself at
Mhm.
the falling running back. But he missed and hit me instead, crushing the fourth vertebrae, leaving me paralyzed from the neck down. So, what were meant to be my high school glory days turned to temporary defeat. But in my eyes, temporary defeat does not mean permanent failure. Because, like my mom says, nothing beats a failure but a try. I tried a bad attitude. I tried blaming others, but things didn't change into my life until I applied the 7 principles that I like to call the Trenell Effect. And the
Mhm.
Trenell Effect will influence you to take action. Proper action leads to satisfaction. R, resilience. Be resilient because 2 steps back can lead to a great comeback. The E is for encourage. Encourage in order to help one flourish. The N, never quit. It's impossible to stop a motivated person because they will never quit. And the E is for evaluate. Evaluation can lead to your destination. And the L is for learn. Because when you learn, you earn respect for yourself, others, and you can possibly earn more money, money, money. And the last L is for love, because love is a gift from above.
Mhm.
So that's how that's been able to influence what I do today.
Wow, that's amazing that you came up with that. and it all makes sense and it all flows together, and then it's your name. So can't forget it. That's amazing. And you talk about living a life of triumph beyond limits.
Yes.
What's the very first step someone has to take when they just feel completely stuck, whether it's emotionally or professionally or spiritually?
Make a decision. Because one of the things I learned about decide, the root word means to cut off. You have to decide whether to cut off what you have been doing that's not getting you to where you want to go so you can
Mm-hmm.
focus on where you want to be. And part of making that decision goes back to T, taking action. And that decision has to be an action, but not just any action, but a proper action that leads to satisfaction. So number one, you have to decide. And once you made the decision to cut off what's not working and focus on what is working, then you have to take action to get it done.
Mm-hmm. I think it boils down to mindset, right? People
Yes.
get stuck in fear and doubt and limiting beliefs, and whatever it is, it all really comes down to your mindset. I talk to women about what I call living lie locked lives, where they're just locked into those lies that they've let just creep into their identity, you know? What are some lies that you think you see people that you coach and that you talk to that they believe that are keeping them stuck?
Well, number one is that they're not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that they're not good enough for what it is. Or another lie is fear. You know, most
Mm-hmm.
people look at it as false evidence appearing real. And I tell them to look at it a little bit differently, as face everything and rise.
Yes.
And
Yes.
another one is, again, number three, I would say self-limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
They are limiting themselves by the story they tell themselves. Because I've learned that the most important person that's going to talk to you all day long is you.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible says life and death is found in the power of the tongue. So you
Mm-hmm.
can either speak life into yourself or you can speak death over yourself. Again, the choice is yours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that, one of the things that happens with the lies is that they become so familiar, right, that it sounds like truth, and we just begin to not only believe it, but build on it, and even defend those lies about ourselves sometimes, because I say the devil doesn't have to take a chainsaw to cut deep into you, right? He just plants a lie, and that lie starts growing and growing. So that's how I see that coming together with the mindset.
Hmm.
Yeah. I know so many women in my coaching community, they say they feel paralyzed by fear or circumstances. So they need to hear this hope. And you didn't just overcome, you built a method to help others to do the same. So the Trenell Effect, T.R.E.N.E.L.L. So we have to remember that to move from surviving to thriving. Could you take one or two of the steps and maybe go into a little bit more detail for us about how to really lean into it?
Oh, of course. Let's talk about the take action part of it. And in the part and in taking action, there are times that you have to find that silver lining. Because for
Mm,
every tough moment, there's something good in it, something that we can grow from, something that we can learn from. And I know it's hard to see it when you're going through that because I know I had a hard time seeing it until someone brought it to my attention by helping me ask these two questions. And the first question that I had to ask myself, and I encourage those that are listening to ask themselves, is there something I can do in the next 2 weeks in my personal life or professional life that can make things worse? And like my
mhm,
mentor, Mr. Ziglar used to say, I answer the hard ones for you. Yes. And then I would encourage you to write down the two things that you can do to make that situation worse. And the second question is similar to the first question. Is there something that I can do in the next 2 weeks in my personal life or professional life that can make things better? And I answer that for you too. It's yes.
Yeah.
But this time I want you to write down 3 to 5 things that you can do to make the situation better. And then I
Mm,
want you to circle the one that you can take immediate action on right now. That's what you can take action on right now to improve your life. That is the silver lining.
mm,
So whether you realize it or not, by asking those 2 questions, I've just admitted to yourself that you have the power to make things better or worse. The choice is yours. And another thing that I would like to share with you is to live. Live is an acronym that stands for laugh, inspire, value, enjoy. The
mm,
L is for laugh. Laugh as long as you breathe. I want to
mm.
encourage you to find something to laugh about each day. I know for me, I may find a TikTok video to make me laugh, but most of the time, I'm usually
Yeah.
laughing at myself because I'm a little cray cray. Uh, but I've learned that 12 laughs a day keeps depression away. The I, inspire, breathe life into you by having a journal that you can write all the things that you grateful for. I call it the G list. Write down the date, what you're
Mhm,
grateful for, and why you're grateful for it. And if it's a person, write down the reason why that person is a person that you are so grateful in life for. That
mm,
would allow you to breathe life into yourself and also have a victory list. We all have our victories that will
yeah,
also breathe life into you. And now the V, value. You got to value every moment by living in the moments. I encourage you to find 5 things throughout your day that brings you joy. For me, sitting outside watching the squirrels bounce from
mm,
tree to tree, that brings me joy. So
mm,
find 5 things that bring you joy. And the last is to enjoy. Enjoy the day and the life, or should I say, enjoy today and the people in your life, because you never know when it's going to be your last. And you can
mm,
do this by simply texting a friend saying, just checking on you, or texting a loved one, I love you. By
mm,
being able to do that, you're able to live moment to moment, live day to day, and live life to the fullest.
mm. Yeah, yeah. And that grateful list, when you're saying maybe it's a person that makes you grateful, well, that comes back to then tell them that,
Yes.
that you're grateful for them and that you're so happy to have them in your life and how they affect you. You and I were just at a conference and they had something like that, right? An exercise where they said text someone special about,
Yes.
tell them something. And then some people were getting texts back like, are you okay? Because we just don't do that, right? It's just not
Correct.
what we do every day. So we need to do that. We should do that every day. Take the time to do the things that are important really to your life. All the things that we think are important are really sometimes not. Don't sweat
Right.
the small stuff and it's all small stuff, right?
Yes. Yes.
You have some really, really good things with your Trenell and your Live. Can you share a story maybe of someone who's applied this and saw the incredible results?
Oh yeah, I actually had a friend of mine. He used to be my assistant, my personal assistant, and he actually was going through some things, and I shared the whole live with him, and he actually came back to me one day and we were talking on the phone. And he was like, man, I was actually out somewhere with some friends and this girl, she was real, down on herself. And I told her what you taught me about learning to live, that you need to just laugh, inspire, value, and enjoy the moment. And he said, man, that really opened her eyes and made her think a little bit differently about her situation and made her feel better. And so I
Mm,
was super grateful for Kim sharing that with me because, again, we have to live in the moment
mhm,
because the
mhm.
only time we can truly live is in the present moment. That's why it's called a gift.
Yeah. Yeah. The present is a gift.
Yes.
I love how practical yet transformational this is. It's not just motivation, it's a method, you know? And I know you said earlier, one of your mantras is it's impossible to stop a motivated person because they will never quit. So how do you help people like reignite that motivation when life feels just overwhelming or they feel like they've lost their drive?
One of the things I like to get them to do is to create their own effects, to simply let them know that your legacy is in your name. So not only do I have do they are they aware of the Trenell Effect, I have them to create the Sandra Effect, allowing them to create the acronym because the acronym is only the first part of it. That shows you your value. Then
Mhm,
I encourage them to find a affirmation that explains why that characteristic that they've chosen for their acronym is important. For instance, I'm gonna use my name, the T in Trenell. Take action. Why? Proper action leads to satisfaction. Resilience. Why? Be resilient because two steps back can lead to a great comeback. The encourage. Why? Encourage in order to help one flourish. So being able to help them identify their value, then
mhm,
help them understand the powerful change that has when they apply that to their life. Now, not only do we have the Trenell effect, we have the ripple effect of Sandra and
mhm,
whoever else to be able to influence lives and empower generations to thrive.
mhm. Yeah, generations. And that's what it is, you know, it's all about the future and future generations and stopping what we've had in our life so it doesn't go to the next generations. You know, we talk about generational curses, and we can be the ones that break those just with the power of our minds, right?
Mhm.
Are there any like just non-negotiable actions that, you know, to break free from feeling stuck? Like, here's some things that you just must do that everyone just needs to know these are the things you have to do to break free.
That's why I created Live,
Mhm. That's
because one of the things that I learned that you have to laugh. Laughter and being angry can't exist at the same time.
mhm,
And I've
mhm,
learned that the more you laugh, the better you feel. That's why I say 12 laughs a day keeps depression away. And again, with the I, you inspire by writing down what you're grateful for every day. That's focusing on what you have. Therefore,
mhm,
you're gonna have time to focus on what you don't have because you've taken time to create a list of what you do have. And then
mhm,
being able to have that value every moment, you're still able to live in the moment because you're finding things inside that moment that brings you joy.
mhm,
And then the E is to enjoy, the person as well as the day, because that is what you have to do when you want to live in that moment, because you never know when the next day tomorrow is not promised, and yesterday
mhm,
has already passed. So enjoy the day and the people in your life.
mhm. This ties so perfectly to what I teach with the truth mindset coaching, renewing the mind, you know, aligning it with truth. What I love about this is how it's more than motivation, right? It's actionable. You know, let's connect that to mindset and resilience because your journey is rooted in resilience and faith. How has your faith shaped the way you coach and the way because you're a motivational speaker and you're a coach? How do you inspire others to persevere through their toughest seasons?
By sharing mine, for
Mhm,
instance, when I was at my lowest, angry at God, mad at God, hating because I wasn't able to walk again. I simply
Mhm.
share with them that when I was 17 years old, 3 years after my injury, I'm sitting there crying at night and I'm tired of being sick and tired. And I
Mhm.
finally did what my mom always encouraged me to do, and that was to pray. And I finally did that. And I asked Jesus to come into my life and have his way. And
Mm.
my eyes closed tightly, and a peace that I cannot explain overcame me. And I heard a
Mm.
tender voice say, Trenell, you put football before me. I don't want anything put before me. But through this injury, I'm inspire others that if they put me first and use their mind to the fullest, they can do anything. But let me go back to the beginning of that. Trenell, you put football before me. He let me know that I had my priorities in the wrong place. And I
Mm.
encourage people, where are your priorities? What are you putting above what you know you need to do?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so also, but through this injury, I'm inspire others that if they put me first and use their mind to the fullest, the mind to the fullest part, I'm paralyzed from the neck down. But I'm grateful to be have to say that I've been blessed to not only have a high school diploma, but I have a master's degree in rehabilitation counseling. I am a
Mm.
rehabilitation counselor. I held a job down for 12 years as a corporate trainer until they decided to let me go. And then that's when I decided to write the book, The T.R.E.N.L.L. Effect, applied the Trenel Effect. And in doing so, I've been able to achieve my childhood dreams of retiring my mom,
Mm.
buying her not only one car, but two cars, and
Wow.
also being able to on October, not October, January 20th, 20, no, January 25th, 2020, I paid her last house payment. So I'm
Mm.
not trying to impress you with all these accolades, but to impress upon you the possibilities that we all have if we take action, be resilient, encourage,
Mm.
never quit, evaluate, learn, and love.
Mm. Mm. This part is so powerful because it shows that getting unstuck is not just about strategies, it's about hope and deeper meaning, right?
Mhm. Yes,
So
it
for
is.
anyone that's listening right now that feels like they've hit a wall, you've got the Trenell and you've got the live, but if they just said, I just need one thing, like, can you just tell me one thing I can do today and just start to break free? Because I got to move forward.
One thing, look at yourself in the mirror and smile.
Mm. Mm.
That's going to change your whole attitude because you can look in the mirror and frown and just try it. Look in the mirror and frown and see how it makes you feel. Then take a moment, look in the mirror and smile and see how it makes you feel. And
Mm.
watch the difference that it makes when you smile. It's not only makes you smile even harder, but it makes you feel a little bit better. So if you can't do anything else throughout your day, remember to smile. And I also want you to remember these numbers 1447. That's how many minutes are in a day. There's 140 minutes in a day, 7 days a week. So if you can't get through your day, just remember 1440 seconds and just make it to 1447 and just make
Mm.
it to the next minute. So my
Mhm.
advice to you is when you a place to start is to smile and to just make it to the next minute.
Mm. That's perfect. Chanel, your story and wisdom are incredible. I know that the ladies in the audience are going to want to connect with you and learn more. So, where's the best place for them to find you and to get your book, The Trenell Effect?
You can get my book on Amazon. Get it there. You can also connect with me at Trenell Walker on Instagram, Trenell Walker on Facebook, and on LinkedIn.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Chanel. Any last thoughts that you want to share?
Yes, you are unstoppable. You make it do what it do. You're valuable and successful in all that you do. You unstoppable. Believe this to be true. You're valuable and successful in all that you do. You are unstoppable.
That's incredible. Thank you. Thank you. All right, friends, remember this: being stuck is not your destiny. And with the right mindset and tools and faith, you can break through and live beyond limits. If you found value in today's interview, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can be encouraged. Until next time, keep abiding in Christ, embracing truth, and stepping boldly into your God given purpose. And remember, strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in the time to come. Thanks again, Trenell.
My pleasure.